There are hundreds of cars in ERLC, but what if I told you you only needed 4, one on each team? Now of course there are 5 different teams in ERLC, however both sheriff and police use the same vehicles, so we're counting that as one team. We'll work our way backwards, so let's start on DOT. Now, I do want to say these choices aren't necessarily made for realism, but more for grinding in public servers. And of course, everyone's going to have their own opinions on what they think is the best vehicle for each team, so let me know in the comments below what you would pick. So going over to the spawn, for DOT, I would choose the Flatbed. Now this is unlocked at Tow Operator, as you saw there, and if we open up the tutorial, go into the team ranks, you can see that you only need 500 XP to be able to unlock the Flatbed. Now, the reason I chose this vehicle is not due to its speed, because realistically, it is not a fast vehicle. You are not going to be the first one responding to a scene. However, this does allow you to respond to every single call that DOT will get. Opening up the radio here, you can see we've got a variety of calls right now. Road debris, drained car battery, and 2 potholes. If we just pull up to one of the potholes there, as we get another broken street lamp call, we can open up our compartment there and grab the asphalt bucket and shovel. No way, I thought there was a hole in the road. It was actually a manhole cover. Alright, we need to get some glasses and get my eyes checked. There is the pothole. Place down our bucket there, grab our asphalt shovel, and there we go. So one of the most common calls in public servers are actually impounded vehicles. People will leave their vehicle parked wherever, in the middle of the street, in front of a building, wherever they may find it most convenient. And the Flatbed allows you to respond to those calls and actually impound the vehicles, and that is one of the best ways to rank up on DOT. Now a bonus of unlocking the Flatbed is that this glitch exists. The developers may have patched it by the time you're watching this video, but you can get up to speeds of 500 plus miles an hour on the ground. It's pretty crazy, can't really control the car, but something fun to try out. I've uploaded many videos on my clips channel, so feel free to check those out. So, as I said before, you only need 500 XP, which could realistically be achieved in a couple of days. And once you've got this Flatbed, you're pretty much sorted for the team. This will do everything you need it to do, and allows you to respond to any call you get. Thought this would be good to point out as well, because of all the vehicle branding has been fictionalized. Actually, Arsenal Pro, I think there used to be a moderator in my roleplay server. Anyways, here's a list of all the vehicle names in-game compared to real-life brands. Now we move on to the police department team, and I think this one may be slightly more controversial, but let's get into it. So going into spawn a vehicle, there is a lot more vehicles to choose from on the police or sheriff department, but the vehicle I have chosen after researching a bit is in fact down here, the Falcon Interceptor Sedan 2017. We'll go and spawn this in, and let me tell you why. I already had this vehicle purchased, but as you can see on the ERLC wiki, it only costs you $22,000 in game. It has an acceleration from 0 to 60 in 5.6 seconds, which compared to all the vehicles around is beating by miles, fairly impressive braking, and a relatively decent top speed. 115 miles an hour isn't the best. You're not going to be able to keep up with a Bugatti or a McLaren long range, but for driving around the city or Springfield, that should be just fine. So the vehicle is cheap enough for everyone to be able to afford it early game. Saying that does sound like a Fortnite term, but we move on. It is of course a 4-door car, which means you can transport prisoners in the back, though realistically I'm not sure if anyone in public servers does that anymore. Instead, you can fit up to 3 other officers inside the vehicle, so great to roll with friends. And when I was testing this vehicle out, I was genuinely impressed by the acceleration and top speed. The top speed is not really something to write home about. I mean, when we're going on the highway, it tops out very fast, but around the city, this is an incredibly quick car. Also, another good thing is that this vehicle has not been fictionalized yet, so at least to me, it looks great in game. I'd also like to give an honorable mention to the Dodge Charger widebody. Honestly, incredible car. I do also use this a lot, and it's very fun to drive, I can tell you that. Just may take you a bit longer to unlock. Moving on to the fire department now, and I think this is one that everyone can kind of agree with. Especially if you're just grinding public servers, the only vehicle you'll need is the ambulance. In fact, the International Ambulance right here. This vehicle can be purchased for $65,000, so around twice the price of the vehicles on police we were talking about. But similar to DOT, this will allow you to respond to any call you get, EMS or fire related. Now the reason I didn't pick the engine tanker, or even the ladder truck is because of one tool in your inventory, and that is the stretcher. When you spawn in either the international or... Hold on, I gotta stop talking for a second because I am lost. Alright, we found them. We're all good. Anyways, what I was saying was when you spawn in either of the ambulances, you get this tool, the stretcher. And that is crucial for responding to any of these EMS callouts. And there is a lot of these. You will see these callouts pop up every few minutes in public servers. So that is why I would highly recommend getting an ambulance. And why the international ambulance? Well, as you can see here, you have to reach 2,500 XP to unlock the bullhorn. But starting off on the team, the international ambulance will help you rank up very quickly. This is definitely my favorite ambulance in terms of design, but let me know what you think in the comments. Right, back on civilian. And this is probably the one where I think every single person watching has a different opinion, which is completely fine. But out of all of these vehicles, if I were to recommend one vehicle to work towards and purchase, it would be this one here, the Falcon Stallion 350. $139,000 with a top speed of 124 miles an hour. So, a couple of things about this car to start off with. It is one of the most recent remodels in the game, which means it does include daytime running lights, also reverse and brake lights, as you can see on the back there, as well as animated turn signals. I think there's another word for that, but you can see they have this 3-stage pattern to them almost. It looks really nice. Very quick acceleration, as you can tell, and tops out 130 or so miles an hour, so it can do relatively high speeds on the highway and riverside. Very good handling in this thing, and whenever I do races, this is one of my go-to cars. It being priced at just over $100,000 means you only need to do a couple of hours working game to be able to afford this. And for sure, there are faster cars, there are cheaper cars, there may even be better looking cars, depends on your opinion. But for me, this is both great for roleplay and escaping cops in public servers. On top of that, if ERLC does ever add vehicle customization, adding some different wings onto here or even aero kits would look just incredible. As I said before, everyone's going to have their own opinions, but I'd love to hear them in the comments below and your reasoning for why you picked those. Thank you so much for watching this video, subscribe for more content like this in the future, and I'll see you all around.